down the back stretch, side by side, heading for turn 3, and Juan gives him room, but he's not making it real easy.
Giving him plenty of room, though.
Yep, and he does, and he finally clears him. So move Mark Martin up another spot, give him the 12th position. He'll set sail now for Matt Kenseth. Zero in on Jimmy Johnson right now because he is 4.6 seconds behind the race leader Denny Hamlin. And also gives us a chance to talk about Chevrolet. They want you and 3 of your friends to meet Kevin Harvick and Miss Sprint Cup at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Awards ceremony in Las Vegas. You could also win 2 all-new Chevrolet Cruze LTZs to go along for the trip. For your chance to win, enter at winyourchevy.com. Well, as you see the top 5 there, well, the top 7, Hamlin and Edwards are the only drivers in that group without a Cup win here at Phoenix. Check the calendar because NASCAR Now is going to be on tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern on ESPN2, and of course the Monday Roundtable at 5 Eastern. And then the NHRA Finals, last event, the championships will be given out tonight at 9 Eastern on ESPN. And our NASCAR Nationwide Series finale, the Ford 300 at Homestead, Miami, 4 o'clock Eastern, Saturday on ESPN2. And then NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action, the Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami, next Sunday on ESPN. We'll wrap it up and crown the champion at 1 o'clock Eastern. Riding on board with Kevin Harvick.
Harvick's working on his back bumper right now. I mean, he's closed right into him.
That's Jimmy Johnson right in front of him. That is 4th and 5th on the racetrack as we approach 200 laps complete. As here comes Harvick, side by side.
The sun came out about, what, 30, 40 laps ago. Seems to have helped some cars and hurt some. Looks like it's helped the 29, maybe hurt the 48 a little bit.
Well, we talked about Kevin Harvick, about what you had to do if you wanted to win this chase.
I don't think it's going to come down to, you know, a 5th or 6th place finishes. It's going to come down to somebody who can win and take the moment. And I think it's going to be about being on the offense and taking the championship. It's not going to be, you're not going to back into it by any means.
And you want to see the backup to that because right now, even though he has driven himself past Jimmy and up into 4th, he is still losing ground because Denny Hamlin is running up front. Hamlin leads by 73 right now over Johnson, 94 over Harvick.
Yeah, we said a few weeks ago that you might go ahead and run 5th in all of these chase races that were remaining and that not get the job done. You've got Denny Hamlin leading the most laps and winning these races. Just proves the point. But all of these guys, we have our 3 in the top 5 right now.
Rusty, you've got an observation on the 29?
Yeah, guys, I've been looking at, you know, there's a lot of rubber buildup out here in the left rear quarter panel of Kevin Harvick's car. It's got so much rubber buildup from the tires that's hanging out the left rear quarter panel. Take a look at that. Talk about building up and how sticky these tires are at this particular track, short track style stuff. I don't believe I've ever seen anything like that. That is a lot of rubber there.
I've seen it collect and build up on different places on the car, but never right there on the outside lip like that. It's kind of strange.
Any disadvantage?
No, it's not hurting it. And that's what you were talking about earlier when you saw that big ball of rubber come off of one of the cars right in front of Denny Hamlin, and that's exactly what's happening.
There you see all of those marbles that kind of collect. This is just outside of the groove where our camera is.
We were talking about going out and taking the championship. You heard Kevin. One other thing you better start thinking about, you got to get around Denny Hamlin soon. He's got about another, I'd say, 20 laps, and he is going to lock up the 5 bonus points for most laps led.
Somebody might get around him soon, around Denny Hamlin. That's his teammate, Kyle Busch, who's coming in a hurry.
That's Regan Smith between Hamlin and Kyle. Regan is 1 lap down in 21st position. We have a total of 19 cars on the lead lap.
You know, if this were Formula One, somebody might be talking about that, well, team orders or something. He might not go up there and pass the guy trying to win the championship. This is NASCAR racing. I'm pretty sure that Kyle Busch would scoff at anybody trying to tell him not to go take the lead, huh?
Jamie McMurray is 1 lap down right now. You know the troubles that he's had. Let's get an update on the 11 as the 18's coming after him, Doc.
Indeed he is, and remember now the 11 did share their setup this morning with what they had done in happy hour. Dave Rogers went over and moved his setup more to what you see with the 11 car right now. The 11 car, Denny Hamlin says the car is much better after they moved the track bar back up. He said, but about 3 or 4 laps ago, it started getting tighter and tighter in the center, so they're going to have to make an adjustment now. Track quite a bit different than when they started the day with the sun out. Different conditions now for Denny Hamlin, although he loves this race car, and it's been up front for most of the afternoon.
Don't forget there's a minimum of 15-point difference between first and second place. Battle for 5th right now as Tony Stewart's closing in on Jimmy Johnson. Tucking in a little tighter as they come through the corner. Whoop! You can see him hacksaw on the wheel.
Yeah, you can see Jimmy really looks like he's lost rear grip in this run. One thing that I've been noticing is just hasn't been able to keep the car where he did that last run when it stayed a little more consistent than this. Jamie?
This 48 car does not like the sun. Right now the track temp is about 96 degrees. He was at his best about 89 degrees. This was Jimmy on the radio a few laps ago.
Yeah, on throttle at least right now it feels a little bit better, but it's not going anywhere. Gas it up, man. Let's go. Go for it, bud.
And you hear his crew chief checking out saying, let's go, man. He's telling him, you got to give us something. You got to keep going. He's trying to coach him into this, but he's falling back a little bit, saying he's tight through the center right now.
There's Chad on the right side. You saw them get around. Both of them got around Sam Hornish Jr. He's 25th right now, 1 lap down.
Well, this time as a driver, you heard Chad told him, get it up and do what you can. As a driver, you just start searching around a little bit more. What do I need to arc it into the corner a little bit more? Where do I need to have this left front tire so I can get the best drive off and get my car turned in the center? You have to search, but you don't want to give up that spot to somebody like Tony Stewart, who's right behind you either.
There's our race leader. Let's check speeds at the line this time. See who's the quickest. So far, Kyle Busch. Tony Stewart, 3rd quick. You can see why he's closing on Jimmy Johnson. And Martin Truex Jr. And here comes Stewart on the high side as he looks like he is going to bump Jimmy back to the 6th position. And that's not what Jimmy wants if he wants to be the last man standing.
The Kobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix. Welcome back. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. An interesting moment has just occurred in this race as we're past the 2/3 mark, and it involves points toward the championship for Denny Hamlin.
We've seen over the years how important it's been to have those bonus points, and Denny Hamlin is getting ready, well, right about now, to collect those 5 very important bonus points that he'll use at the end of this championship run, possibly to separate himself.
If you're new to NASCAR, a driver who leads a lap, any lap during the race, collects 5 championship points as a bonus. The driver who leads the most laps in a race collects 5 bonus points toward the championship. Denny's just locked up, leading the most laps in this race. He has trailed Jimmy Johnson in that bonus point category for much of this chase and has just done himself a big favor so far. Speaking of Jimmy Johnson, not showing the kind of strength we thought in this last run of the race.
No, this is just what we talked about in the countdown show, guys. We knew, but looking at the numbers, that if Jimmy even ran his average, which he's done, he's a 4th to 6th place car. Here it may not be good enough because of Denny Hamlin punching above his weight, as we called it. Jimmy and Chad have not been able to hit the sharpness to get this car up to the front to challenge the 11 car all day long.
You love those boxing analogies, don't you?
Well, I tell you, in my opinion, one of the stars of the show so far today is Jeff Burton driving a 31 car. He has picked up 33 positions from the start of this race. He's currently running in the 7th position, and I keep looking at his lap times. He's probably the fastest, if not the top 4 in speeds all day long. He has got a rocket ship. This thing is flat flying.
Tony Stewart moving forward. 4th spot, fighting there with Kevin Harvick for the position.
kind of the forgotten man in all this, but Tony Stewart, as we heard Andy and DJ talk about earlier, loves a slick racetrack, and this thing is just falling right into his hands, and he is marching forward. Very good, very consistent lap times. He could be a big factor come the end of this race today.
You know, in all of our pre-race conversations, we talked